Good afternoon, folks. I'm delighted to welcome every one of you to our exclusive webinar on scaling Google Ads using Adyogi's product performance management strategies. For those who have just joined, please introduce yourself in the chat box. We would love to know about you and your D2C brands that you're managing. So, to set some context for today's session, let me give you a brief introduction to product performance management and how it can help you in optimizing your Google Ads. So Google's artificial intelligence has powered a lot of brands to achieve their conversion goals using performance max campaigns, demand gen campaigns, etc. D2C brand owners and advertisers such as yourself are making the most of these campaigns to enhance their ROAS from Google Ads. But after working with 350 plus brands at Adyogi, we realized that something is still missing. Advertisers still tend to waste up to 50% of their ad budgets on products that are non profitable for them or are leaking ad revenues. And this is where product performance management by Adyogi comes into the picture. By Adyogi's PPM tool, you can identify the products that are profitable for you, automatically push ad budgets on these products, and optimize your Google campaigns for even better results. So get set for this webinar and keep your notepads ready as we build more upon this concept and the use cases of PPM, that is product performance management, and how to use the same to scale your Google Ads. For those who have just joined, I would just request you to introduce yourself in the chat box and tell us more about what kind of ad spends you are handling right now, what kind of industry does your e-commerce brand belong to, where do you lie in your e-commerce journey, are you listed on marketplaces or running just through your own website, because that would give us an understanding on how to pitch today's topics of the webinar to you and how to personalize the session to your needs. So, before we proceed further, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Muskan, a product marketer at Adyogi, and it's my pleasure to be our host and speaker for the day. Along with me, we have Pranav leading the product team at Adyogi. So, without any further ado, let's set the agenda for today. We have a first topic that we will be discussing today is dynamic product segment. So if we move on to the next slide, you can see all the agenda listed over here. So the first is how to create dynamic product segments. By dynamic product segments, we essentially mean how to create permutation combination of different products to push them in your Google Ads. Then how to identify and map your zombie products. Now, what your zombie products are depends on your logic and your understanding of your products. How to identify the same from the Adyogi platform using the product analytics section on the platform, and how to map them in your performance max campaigns. Then third, we have channel wise stop loss for products automation. So for those of you who aren't aware of the Adyogi platform, our platform offers you a feature to automatically exclude products that are poor performing or basically yielding uh, bad results or negative ROAS for your account. These products need to be immediately removed from your ads. And to do the same automatically or in an automated fashion, we have something called stop loss for products on the Adyogi platform. Now we have built an even better layer to this particular feature where you can choose to separate choose to identify and exclude products separately from Facebook and Google. Then fourth, we have feed enrichment with catalog mapping feature. One of the most less talked about feature or optimization tactic in Google Ads is feed enrichment. And we have analyzed how feed enrichment could help D2C brands upscale their ROAS, especially from performance max campaigns. And today we will tell you how to enrich your feed for PMax campaigns, search campaigns, etc., using the catalog mapping feature on the Adyogi platform, along with a case study that we have from one of our clients called Rare Rabbit, where we worked with the Google team and the Rare Rabbit team to help them scale their PMAX campaigns by up to 50%. Lastly, we have free product performance audit, which we will be offering if you stay till the end. So get your notepads ready and get set for the webinar. And please help us make this webinar as engaging as possible. Post this, we will also have a Q&A session wherein you can send in your queries related to what we discussed during the webinar or otherwise. I encourage each and every one of you to send in questions, share your thoughts in the chat, and let's make this a dynamic learning experience. Hope you enjoy the session. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you, Muskan. Thank you for that detailed introduction of the current webinar. So, very good afternoon to everyone. I hope this webinar brings good value to you in terms of understanding how your e-commerce journey is going. And through this webinar, you should be able to understand as to how you can scale using the platform, using the Adyogi platform. So, without further ado, let's just run right into the webinar section. Now, the first feature that we wanted to talk about was to create your dynamic product segments. Let's just go to the section. Yeah. So essentially, for those of you who have been, familiar with the Adyogi platform, we had a concept where you could create product sets from the platform itself, and then you had the option to create your best sellers or your top performers. But we got a need to understand that dynamic or creating your product segments is a very essential part of enabling your e-commerce journey, where you want to create products that are beneficial for you or along the marketing funnel. So there could be multiple combinations as to how you want to create a product segment. You can create your hidden gems, your top performers, your low discovery product sets. And by default, it cannot be a static definition. So we cannot go by a standard definition that your hidden gems have to be with a certain, let's say, above a certain benchmark. So this has to be a free structure to create your product sets. So now within the Adyogi platform, it is completely possible to create independent product sets that then can be used within Meta or the Adyogi platform itself. So that the product set creation becomes completely independent. And then these product sets can be created on a very dynamic complex with the power to handle close to 1 million SKUs within these product sets. So let's go back to the platform and see how do we create these product sets. Now, once you have the Adyogi dashboard, you can click on the campaign manager and go to the product set section. Now, what essentially that we have done is we have piggybacked on the back of product analytics or an extensive product analytics where we combine data from multiple sources. And then based on these data pointers, you can create your complex and dynamic product segments, which keep on auto refreshing itself. So every day we would be refreshing your product set based on the data on which you have created them. So let's take an example. Now, let's say in case if I want to create a product set of my top converting products, I can click on the create a new product section, which will take me to the product analytics page, which contains all of my data pointers. Now, within this page, I have my products listed. I can click on the filter section, and then I can add certain filters that I want to create a product set of. So let's say in case if I'm talking about my most converting, or let's say my top converting products, and by converting, I mean I can use conversion rate or let's say blended ROAS as a concept to create those product sets. So what I can do is I can select a matrix. So I can say any product with a, let's say a blended ROAS of, let's say greater than, let's say 2x. So by blended ROAS, I specifically mean your catalog spends to your overall website revenue, just for reference. And then I can say that anything that has, let's say my spend. So either I can choose my overall catalog spends from, let's say Meta and Google, or I can choose independently my Meta spends or my Google spends. So depending upon my definition of a top converting or let's say a potential product set, I can create these definitions. So I can say, let's say my overall catalog spends is, let's say, greater than, for example, 1,000 rupees in the last 30 days or let's say 7 days, whenever I want to create that. And then I can also click on a specific attribute. So now in case if I want to create these product sets on top of my specific collections or categories, so let's say in case if I'm in an apparel section, so I can create that any product set, any products that fall above a blended ROAS of let's say 5x or 6x, which spends more than 2,000 in the last 30 days, or let's say views more than 1,000 as per Google Analytics score, but should belong to let's say the category, let's say a specific category. So should let's say contains in, let me just let's say pick up any specific category. So let's say mugs. So essentially what I've done is I have created a segment or a pipeline where any product that falls within a specific category or a collection with a benchmark above as to what matrices I have set, then I can create that product set. So let's say if I click on apply. So essentially this is going to give me a list of products that fall within the specific criteria. So I have all the products available. Now, once I have the products currently ready, so let me just, let's say, look at a count. So I have, let's say, close to 104 items. I can click on this create product set and I can name my product set. So now essentially, once you create this product set, your product sets will then be visible in the product set section. So let's say this could be, let's say my, let's say top uh, category, or let's say top products by, let's say, blended ROAS. So now once I create this, it will automatically create a product set for the set specific filters. And now whenever I go to the IDP platform, I can see the product set and the performance of that product set. Now, since this is an independent entity, this product set can be used in my Adyogi dashboard. Let's say in case if I create this product set, I can go to my smart ads section, click on the smart ads, and I can go to Facebook imported category. So essentially the logic is once you create these product sets are directly synced to your meta dashboard. And since these now become as part of your meta dashboard product sets, you can either use the Adyogi smart ad feature to under the imported categories, or you can directly go to meta and then use these product sets in your ad creation process. So the best part about this is your product set creations becomes completely independent based on very complex and dynamic structures. And since this is a dynamic process, every day it keeps on refreshing. So let's say in case if you've set the data of, let's say blended ROAS more than 2x, and if any product that falls below this criteria will automatically fall out of this specific product set, and any product that falls within this criteria will automatically get included. So the concept of having those static product sets based on specific SKUs that you've identified also goes with the logic where now you can create these dynamic segments and automatically these product sets keep on refreshing themselves and your ad performance definitely takes a good jump because you're promoting a top converting or let's say your high potential products currently within your ads. So now, once we have understood the concept of how do we create these dynamic product segments and based on product analytics data, we want to pick up a very interesting case study as to how now this can be used within your Google architecture as well or your Google marketing structure as well. So coming to the next section where we want to identify certain segments in Google and promote these segments in our shopping campaigns or our performance max campaigns. So let's get familiar with a concept called as a zombie product. So now, what exactly is a zombie product? A zombie product within the Google marketing ecosystem could be any product or a list of products that do not have enough traction associated with them. So when I say the word traction, it could be, let's say, your clicks, impressions, which is, let's say, your visibility, your ad spends, your conversion, anything that you consider a zombie at a brand level. So for us, for example, let's say if I want to create a zombie product, what I can do is I can essentially pick up products where my clicks and impressions is let's say less than a certain specific number. And then based on that, I can create a zombie product set on top of it within my performance max campaign. And the concept is as to why you should understand the concept of zombie or why you should even promote zombie in the first place. So zombie essentially means that since Google, when you're running a PMAX campaigns, essentially Google tells you to, or let's say that's an SOP practice where you want to, promote your categories, specific category level PMAX campaigns. But what happens is sometimes Google may focus on products that have a very high engagement rate. So let's say any product that Google algo thinks that this could promote in terms of a higher CTR or let's say higher clicks, Google may sort of promote those products where a large chunk of your inventory may not even see the light of the day in terms of ad visibility. So you may have a set of products. You may have an inventory of, let's say your T-shirt contains an inventory of 50 products. Google may only promote, let's say 50 or 60, let's say 20 or 30 products based upon the clickability or the engagement of that specific product or the convertibility of that product. But a good chunk of inventory can still not see any specific engagement happening in terms of the ad visibility. So now how to counter that or how to promote those low visible or low traction products is the concept where you can then understand how to promote zombie products in my PMAX campaigns or my, let's say in general, my shopping campaigns. So going back to the segment section, if I go back to my product set creation, I can click on create product set. And now, yeah, let me just remove the filters. Got it. Yeah. So let's just click on filter. So let's say in case if I now want to create a zombie segment, what I can say is that any product or a list of products where my impressions is let's say less than 1,000 impressions. So let me just click on adding my metrics. I can say my Google impressions is less than let's say 1,000 impressions in the last 30 days, or let's say any number of days that I want to select. And let's say my Google clicks is let's say less than let's say 800 Google clicks. Now, in case if I want to keep on adding certain more matrices at my, let's say at Google level, what I can do is I can also pick up, let's say, my Google spends, clicks, impressions, purchases, purchase value, CPC, CTR. So The idea is to enable you to select any combination of matrices while creating those dynamic segments or creating those zombie product sets. What you think should be a better strategy for your brand to create these dynamic product sets. So for now, what we can do is we can take this example of, let's say, 1,800 concept. And then what we can do is we can, let's say, click on apply to create or accumulate a list of my products. Now, once I have a list of, let's say, roughly close to 800 products that are currently, let's say, part of my zombie product segment, I can further narrow it down. So I can say that, create only this list if, let's say, this falls within a certain specific category. So I only want to create a zombie segment within my kurta category, let's say, within my mugs category, within, let's say, my jeans category. So once I have the zombie set ready, I can name this product set, let's say, as zombie. Now, once that zombie product set has been created, we have a special section in the Adyogi app where now you can select the product set. So once we have created the zombie product set, you can enable the zombie product set to be mapped to a specific custom label. Now, the logic of mapping a product set to a custom label stands is once you have the zombie products ready, we'll save these filters or these products for you. And then within your Google feed, you can send this zombie label in a specific custom label. So you can use your custom label 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever custom label you want to do. The idea is to send that zombie label next to those products in your Google feed. And once you're in your Google AdWords, you can create a product set, or let's say you can create a PMAX campaign of your zombie products based on a custom label while you're selecting the products, or let's say while you're selecting the categories. So you can directly go to your Google AdWords and say that you create specific products where custom label 0 contains zombie. So automatically it will create a PMAX campaign of your zombie product or which contains your zombie label. And as a best practice, you can exclude those products from an existing PMAX campaign. So your ads do not serve the same product twice, which essentially means you do not split your impressions or clicks on two PMAX campaigns for the same set of products. So with this, you now have the option to use product analytics to identify your zombie products, or let's say your zero visibility products from the dashboard, and then send it as a label to Google Merchant Center or your Google AdWords, where then you can use that label to create a product set. One interesting case that you can also identify with the product analytics segment is there also comes a condition where your products are active, ready to serve, but they're not currently serving in any of your PMAX campaigns, which essentially means that even though your zombie technically means products that contain or that have low traction, you can also contain a list of products where traction has not even begun in the first place, which essentially means there has been no ad spends, there have been no impressions, there have been no clicks. So essentially, what you can do is you can essentially go back and then let's say that now I want to identify my zero visibility products, which essentially means that any product that has, let's say, less than one impression in the last 30 days, which essentially, let's see if you have a list of products or not. So once you have your zero visibility products, you can also send that as a label to your Google AdWords. So essentially, using the specific segment, you can identify your zombie, about to be zombie, zero visibility, active, high producing products. And once these features are live, you can start sending these labels and keep mapping these labels in your Google feed, and use these labels to create your product sets within your Google AdWords. So use the power of product analytics to enable your products to be in the right frame and right segment and create a dynamic pipeline of these products. So that's one interesting case study that we wanted to pick up under the product segment, is to create those zombie product sets in Google itself. The one thing, I mean, what you can now do is, in order to know your zombie products and to also see that how does your product performance is currently moving, you can scan this QR code. We'll also be providing the same link at the end of the webinar. So, feel free to, in case right now if you want to skip it, you can skip it. But at the end of the webinar, Muskan will be taking a section as to how to get this enabled for your brands as well. So in case if somebody wants to do it, let's just take 5 minutes, 5 seconds off the webinar and you can scan it.
Yes, so Pranav, thank you so much for taking this up. So, as rightly mentioned by you, that promoting zombie products, or as we call it, zero visibility products, are equally important to promote in our PMAX campaigns or other Google ad properties, because these products also deserve to be promoted in our ads. And to identify these products, it's very important to have the right benchmarks in place. And using the product analytics section on the Adyogi platform, you can use filters such as conversion rate, tended ROAS, Google clicks, Google impressions, etc., to create a product set of zombie product that works for you, and then use custom labels afterwards to send these products to your Performance Max campaigns in your Google dashboard. So, in order to identify your zombie products for your particular brand, we are giving away this free product performance audit where we where we integrate your ad platforms and ad accounts in the Adyogi dashboard and help you identify which are your hero products, which are your hidden gems, which are your zombie products, and also your poor performing products, so that you can immediately remove these poor performing products and immediately promote and push budgets on your hero products after identification. So do scan this QR code or click on the link that we've shared in the chat box, fill in the Google form. Two, three things to note here is that this audit is only available for D2C brands, e-commerce brands that are spending at least 8 lakh rupees on their Meta and Google ads and have a catalog size of more than 300 products. So do avail of this audit if you fit in the criteria. And yeah, we can go ahead with the rest of the topics to be covered in the webinar. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Let's go to the next segment, which is the product stop loss channel level splitting. Now, as you might be aware that currently Adyogi hosts a specific special automation feature, which essentially allows you to stop your bleeding products or products that are non-performing for you. So you can identify these products and pause these products from your feed, or let's say from your ad campaign, so that these products do not serve in any of your catalog linked ads. So only your top performing products are part of your ads product sets and your catalog linked ads, whereas your non-performing products should not be part of your catalog linked ads. So that's again a very special feature that, or let's say special auto that we have developed in house. Now, as a further enhancement to make it more dynamic in nature, what we have done is we have split the product stop loss at a channel level. So essentially that means is currently while you're setting up your configurations for product stop loss, you can choose to set up those conditions for your Meta or your Google account accordingly. So let's say, let me go to the Adyogi app. Let's just go to the automations. Now within the automations, what I can do is I can click on add a new rule. And within the new rule, what I can do is I can say, let's say my Meta stop loss. Now, within the Meta stop loss, I can set up my specific conditions where, let's say, my product page views are, let's say, more than 1,000 views, and my spends are, let's say, more than 5,000. With my blended ROAS, let's say, somewhere between 1x to, let's say, 2x in the last 30 days. Let's pick up 30. Now, this condition could be very channel specific, which essentially means that, let's say, in case if you're running on both these channels, it not necessarily means that a product that may not be performing well on Meta has the same performance benchmark on your Google ads as well. So essentially, let's say since your Meta and your Google performing logics works on a completely different logic of intent versus the concept of buying. A user may have the intent to buy specific products on your Google search. So they may be searching for specific products where your product may have a good performance in terms of your Google ad visibility. But the same cannot be said for your Meta campaign. So your Meta, your product may not perform that well. That specific segment may not be performing that well. But the same cannot be said about Google. Got it. So now what to do? In that case, you do not want to ideally pause those products in both the feeds, or let's say both the channels. So essentially the concept now becomes to split that product stop loss logic at a channel level. So what I can do is I can say that, let's say in case if my blender category has not been working very efficiently on Meta, so any product in my blender category that falls below the specific criteria, I should be able to pause that product in my Meta catalog ads and then only exclude it from my Meta catalog, which essentially means that in case if my blender performance, and how do we identify the performance, we can roll back to the product analytics section again and check the performance level in terms of multiple views and presets that we have created for you. So now let's say in case if my blender category is not performing well on my Meta ad platform, I can choose to exclude those products or those category on Meta specifically without affecting the performance on my Google ad campaign. So essentially what it gives me the flexibility to run my catalog linked ads separately and at the same time choose the efficiency to exclude my non-performing products at a specific channel level. So essentially I can do is I can create one rule for my Meta specifically, and at the same time, once I have saved this rule, I can create another rule, which could be, say, let's say my Google stop loss. And then I can define the specific conditions again for, let's say, a specific category. So let's say in case if my bottle category is not working efficiently on my Google ad platform, so within my Performance Max or my demand, and I'm not seeing a very good traction on my specific category, I can choose to exclude that specific category only on my Google Ads or Google Catalog or Google Performance Max campaigns without affecting any performance on my Meta campaign. So this gives you the flexibility to have that level of understanding as to how do you want to push your products or push your categories at different channels and stop those products that are bleeding money from you. So as Muskan rightly said, if we just go back to the previous slide, any product that are, let's say, coming within the poor performing segment in my catalog section, which you can definitely avail as an audit using the scan feature. So any product that let's say, perform within or fall within the poor performing category, I can choose to exclude those products at a channel level. So this gives you to better optimize your categories or your catalog as at a channel level split. So because I mean, in the marketing funnel, you might be aware that certain categories have a better Google visibility as compared to meta visibility. So this is the feature of product stop loss where you can exclude these features or you can exclude these categories at specific channel level. So that's the upgrade that we've done to the existing product stop loss logic. And coming to the last segment of the feature level is the catalog mapping, where you can use the Adyogi's in-house catalog mapping tool to enrich your feed. Now, without going very much in detail as to how this feed enrichment feature, or let's say going to the nitty-gritties of it, let's pick up a very specific use case of feed enrichment, which essentially for Google becomes very important, which is title optimization or your shopping title optimization. Now, as we understand the marketing of Google, Google specifically works on a very niche concept of intent buying, or let's say intent search buying, where users who have an intent to buy a specific product will keep searching, or let's say will search for that specific product. And as and when your shopping titles or your Google titles contain those specific keywords, it has to be matching with the user search query. And essentially, Google then starts showing your ads to respective user, respective buyer. That's a very a macro view of how the marketing at Google works. Now, in order for those keywords or those searches to match at a user level to your ad level titles, it has to be that your title has to be enriched or your title has to be optimized as per the Google standards. Now, when we talk about the product title, it has to contain specific keywords where your search, user search matches your product title. So let's say in case if I'm searching, if I talk about an apparel section. Now, if I want to search for a, let's say a yellow kurta festive wear with at a cotton material. So I can have two brands where both the brands have the same type of kurta, that is a yellow kurta festive wear. But brand A specifically uses something as a yellow kurta, and brand B uses something as a brand name, yellow kurta, cotton, and then a size, and then let's say specific material, fabric, and all of these. Now, with both these titles, where first is an unoptimized title of just containing yellow kurta, and the second is an optimized title which contains my exact keywords, or let's say my brand title, and material, fabric, and print and everything. Google has a better chance or a better concept of matching the second title to my search query because it contains the keyword that I am searching for as compared to the first title, which only contains yellow kurta. So now with this in mind, it becomes very important for you to start enriching your feed with these relevant titles and these relevant keywords so that Google can better match your search queries to your specific searches that the user is doing for your products or for your specific section of your brand. So now how do we enrich that? You can go to the Adyogi app and then within the catalog section, click on the catalog mapping feature. Now for catalog mapping, you can directly go to the Google mapping. We have the enrichment or let's say the feed mapping feature for both Google and Facebook. But let's pick up the Google use case because this makes more sense. Now, what you can do is once your brand is coming, so when you create your feed, you send us certain values in your feed. What you can do is you can then map those values to your Adyogi feed custom field. So what you can do is you can say that my brand should be mapped to Adyogi brand. And then essentially you can map, let's say your GTN, MPIN, your color, and your age group. So essentially whatever value that you're sending in your feed, you can map this feed to your ad to the internal Adyogi logic or your Adyogi value. So you can pick up Adyogi color, or let's say in case if you want to create new values, you can click on this meta field. And then you can create your own custom meta field parameters to map it to your feed value. And once all of the mapping has been done, we can directly send it to Merchant Center, where your product, where while picking products for your let's say search queries, Google can automatically start picking up data from your feed itself. So without having to optimize those titles automatically. So one major use case that you can benefit from the catalog mapping section is you do not need to essentially go and then start optimizing your product titles essentially to match the user query. Once you do the mapping on the Adyogi panel, it is a dynamic process where we'll keep picking up the data from your feed and keep optimizing your titles accordingly. So without you having to do it for all of your products, essentially, Adyogi does the heavy lifting of enriching your product title with these relevant columns, and then accordingly, giving you a better, giving it a better clarity in your PMAX or your shopping campaigns. One benefit, or let's say the major benefit that you can actually derive from an enriched product title is the concept of an ad rank and a quality score. So the better your product titles are optimized on Google, the better is your ad rank, or the probability of your ad rank being better is very high. And overall, it gives a push to your quality score of your product title. So the more enriched the title is, the better chances of your products having a very high conversion or a very high CTR or convertibility at the end, because the user search matches to the product title, which contains these descriptive values. So, use the Adyogi catalog mapping feature to get your title enriched. And in case, let's say, if there's any confusion regarding how does the mechanics work and how do we go about it, feel free to, at the end of the webinar, you will again have a link, get in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to pick up the entire concept and, walk you through the concept of mapping and how does it, let's say, benefit. Now, just to add more flavor to the concept of feed enrichment, or let's say your title optimization, Muskan has a very interesting case study in the next slide, where she'll be taking us through how just optimizing your titles and enriching your feed can have an incremental impact on your overall ad account performance. And this becomes very important considering that the post-festive season have begun, where let's say your Feb being a lean period, or let's say post December your lean period has to start, where performance has to be picked up by any other factor if not festivity in the first place. So this becomes more important to optimize your product title. So I think now with that said, Muskan, I think we can move to the next section where we talk about how this benefits the brand if the titles have been optimized.
Sure. Thanks, Pranav. I hope my screen is visible. So, just to build on what Pranab said, that one of our brands, Rare Rabbit, were able to supercharge their PMAX campaigns performance, and the metrics are right on your screen. They were able to increase their paid traffic to product pages by 56%, increase their PMAX conversions by 42%, and increase their PMAX revenue by 32%. So, to give you a brief of what this brand sells and what is their website all about. So basically, they are a premium and luxury brand. They offer designer wear for men and women both, and they basically focus on luxury premium apparel. So the challenge that they were facing was that they were spending heavily on Google Ads, but their product discoverability on Google Shopping and Performance Max campaigns was extremely low, and they were not fully able to utilize the artificial intelligence that PMAX campaigns bring in terms of creatives, in terms of intent that users have while searching for different products. So, in order to scale up their revenue efficiently, what they did was they followed the approach of KYC and KYS, which basically means KYC is know your category. So, we worked with the category teams at Rare Rabbit as well as the Google team, and we were able to identify what are their top performing categories. And we got to know that the top performing categories were bandkala, jackets, blazers, jeans, shirts, trousers. For these six categories, we were able to identify what were the most searched for keywords. Now, as much as it is important to do your keyword research for your search campaigns, it is also important to do your keyword research for your PMAX campaigns. So, after analyzing what are the top performing categories, after knowing what are the top searched for search terms, and what is the intent that what is the user's intent while they're looking for Rare Rabbits products or any generic apparel products, we were able to get a list of all these keywords, and then we build upon this information and optimize their titles on the basis of different attributes. By attributes, I mean on the basis of brand name, on the basis of gender, on the basis of product type, or other attributes such as color, size, material, sleeve type, rise level, etc. Yes, that is the level of depth we had to go into. That is material, sleeve type, rise level, etc. Because we don't know what the user wants. But once we know, we have to give them exactly what they want so that we are not wasting money. And we were able to scale their shopping ads. in that particular month. So if you see on your left hand side on the bottom left corner, you basically see an ad which basically has a search term called plain jacket band gala, and rare rabbits band gala jacket was able to come on top of the search results. So after identifying all of these search terms and keywords, we were able to optimize their titles, which again led to an increase in the paid traffic to their product pages. Now, after identifying the keywords and titles, we changed the titles, and that led to increase in product page views. Now, since a lot of you may know, it is very important that you want the user to land on the product page to eventually increase the conversion rates. So increase in product page views was by 56%, and that eventually led to increase in conversions as well by 42. And then eventually the revenue from PMAX campaigns also increased by 32%. Moreover, they were also having four feeds that they were working around in their Google Merchant Center. So we, along with the Google team, helped them consolidate all their four feeds into a one single feed so that Google is able to crawl everything related to all of their products, all information, all product attributes related to all of their products on the website from one single feed instead of being confused between four separate feeds. And that's how we were able to utilize the concept of feed enrichment, title optimization, using these different strategies or product performance management strategies. And again, you can do the same as well using the Adyogi platform, just like we showed you on the dashboard. Just go to the catalog mapping feature, put in certain details about your product that Google can automatically fetch from your catalog and then push in your titles. And yeah, that is it that we wanted to cover regarding this particular topic. Next up, we just wanted to know what was your favorite feature till now in the entire webinar. Was it identifying and promoting zombie products? Was it channel-wise stop loss for products automation? Or was it feed enrichment using catalog mapping feature? So you will be able to see a poll on your screen in just a few seconds, and you should be able to give us an understanding of what was your particular favorite feature. So yeah, do let us know what was your favorite feature till now, and we'd be happy to understand which feature would add the most value to your D2C brand. And with that, we would like to also open up the free product performance audit that we wanted to share with you during the webinar as well. So, in case you want to know the distribution of your products, let's say if you want to know what your hidden gems are, what your hero products are, what your zombie products are, or even your poor performing products, all you have to do is scan this particular QR code and fill in the details in the Google form that will be on your phone, and just put in your website URL, phone number, the amount of ad spends that you're spending on Meta and Google, and we will reach out to you with the details pretty soon. So we've also shared the Google form link in the chat box. So do put in the details in the Google form, and we'd be reaching out to you in case you meet the criteria. That is 8 lakh plus ad spends and 300 plus products in your catalog. So with that, we come towards the end of the webinar. We appreciate your presence during the webinar and for staying till the end. We would also want to understand what are your queries or what are the doubts that you were facing during the all the topics that we discussed during the webinar. And we are open to questions now. You can put in your questions either in the chat box or in the Q&A section, and we'd be happy to address them. So, as let's in the meantime, let's answer the questions that are already in the chat box. So one of them is, what are the next steps after mapping zombie products in custom label? So that is a very valid question because we did discuss how to identify your zombie products, or how to map these products in your performance max campaigns using custom label. But what next? So I understand where this question is coming from, and we'd be happy to address this particular question. So Pranab, over to you.
Got it. Again, that's a very interesting question to pick up, that what to do when you identify zombie product. So once you have a list of your products that are currently in the zombie segment, or let's say your zero activity segment in that case, where these products are not getting enough traction, the idea now is to create a separate PMAX campaign. And why do we want to create a separate PMAX campaigns? Because if we look at the quadrant that we previously discussed, your products have to be keeping moving in a cycle where your low discovery can eventually become your next top potential to your top product segment. So once you create let's say a segment of your zombie, you can create a PMAX campaign of this segment, and then you can run this PMAX campaign of zombie products while at the same time excluding these products from your existing PMAX campaign. So as you create a product set using the custom label zero as a zombie, you can also go to your existing PMAX campaign and exclude those products that contain the label zombie, so that your products are not active in, let's say, more than two campaigns, or let's say more than three campaigns. And once you have a zombie PMAX ready, you can then run this PMAX campaign across your Google marketing. And as and when the products start receiving enough traction, your products will automatically fall out of the zombie label. And since you have saved it on the Adyogi dashboard and it's a dynamic process, any product that then falls within that specific category will also get added to your PMAX campaign. So without you having to manually do all of that process of downloading the SKUs and mapping that against specific parameters and then creating a static list of SKUs, the Adyogi will automatically keep on dynamically refreshing a zombie PMAX campaign. So your one PMAX zombie campaign can technically serve for all of your catalog or any product that falls within the specific criteria. And at the same time, once you exclude that from your existing PMAX campaigns, automatically your products will go out. So your product level overlap in multiple campaigns also negates because of the automation that you can do. So I think, yeah, the next step should be to create a PMAX campaign, let the products run in your marketing structure, and at the same time exclude them from existing PMAX campaigns.
Right. So, folks, you heard it from the expert. The next steps are to create a particular PMAX campaign and push your ad spend specifically on these products so that you're able to focus your ad spending on these products and identify whether these products are profitable for you, not profitable for you, and give them the fair chance that they deserve. So, the next question that we have on the forum is how to set the stop loss rules or how to automatically exclude products. So again, like we discussed during the webinar as well, that we have an automation called stop loss for products on the Adyogi platform, which helps you to automatically exclude your products from Meta and Google Ads. And the new development that we recently made is about excluding products on a channel level basis, either on Facebook separately or on Google separately. So, just to give you a brief understanding of how the stop loss rule works and how you can use the same for your brand, you can choose either one dimension, that is, exclude products where product page views are greater than 500, or your total ad spends are greater than 1000. And you can also choose what is the price range your particular product lies in. So let's say if you're dealing in high AOV products or high value products and you do not want them to be excluded from your catalog since they have a longer attribution window and they do have a do, they do take a lot of time while in consideration phase during the purchase cycle. So you do not want the stop loss exclusion to be applied to these high AOV products, then you can choose and control which price range of products that you want this automation to be applied in. You can also choose the category that you would want this particular automation to be applied in. And then on the basis of one metric, either on the basis of Google ROAS or either on the basis of blended ROAS or either on the basis of conversion rate, you can identify and exclude these products from your catalog. So once you put the benchmarks, let's say conversion rate is less than 0.25% in the last 7 days, you should be able to get a list of all these products and they will automatically get excluded from your catalog. All you have to do is just set the benchmarks. And in case there might also be cases where your product might be doing well organically and might not be doing well on paid channels. So in those cases, we've also given you an option of including those products back into your catalog. So let's say the product page views, that is the number of views a particular product is getting on your website, is greater than 200, and their conversion rate has gone above 0.5% in the last 7 days, then that particular product will get included back into your catalog. catalog. So you can choose the frequency of this automation to be run. It can be either on tri-weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, once a week, and so on. And again, like we discussed during the webinar, you can choose whether you want this automation to run on Facebook specifically or on Google specifically. Once you've done that, all you have to do is just click on save, and you should be able to make the best use of stop loss automation. Just to add more credibility, we have been able to see up to 8 to 10% of ad spend savings while using this particular automation for our D2C brands and clientele at Adyogi, which basically means that they have saved from spending 10% of their overall ad spends on poor performing products that would otherwise would have been wasted and burnt in their overall run rate of of that particular month. So do make the most use of stop loss condition. And in case you haven't collaborated with us yet, then do reach out to us, and we'll help you understand the specific use cases and how this automation can help your brand. All right, so we are waiting for your questions. Any other question that you have, do reach out to us in the chat box or the Q&A section. In the meantime, we'll be taking up another question that we've just received regarding feed enrichment or catalog mapping that we discussed during the webinar. So it says that what is GTIN and MPIN as mentioned in the uh, webinar? And what to do if GTIN and MPIN is not available? So Pranav, would you like to take that up?
Sure, understand. So let's understand the concept of GTIN and MPIN. So essentially, if you look at the structure of Google uses these. So GTIN and MPIN essentially means these are specific unique identifiers that Google uses to match your product to a specific ID. So you can think of this as more of a unique identifier from Google's point of view, where it wants to, identify a specific product based the GTIN or the MPIN number, or let's say the MPIN or GTIN data. Now, these becomes very important because these are unique identifiers, and as per Google, this is the best match if you want to do it at a product level. Now, let's say in case if you're talking about if we do not have GTIN MPIN in the first place, we can either use, let's say, a specific brand or your product level SKUs to match this data. But of course, the more enriched or the feed containing GTIN MPIN data, the better chances for Google to match your data. Now, one example where GTIN and MPIN becomes highly important is, let's say, in case if you want to start sending your ratings and reviews to your Google shopping ads, where your let's say in case if you have your product level ratings and reviews and you want to start displaying those whenever a user searches for a specific product, so you see the rating number and the star count as to what your product has been rated. The first identifier that Google accepts could be is a GTIN number. So in case if you have GTIN, it helps Google to better match your product to that specific rating and reviews in that order. So essentially, having them becomes more important for you to match that data. But in case, let's say if you do not have that data, your brand levels also work. And in the absence of that, your product SKUs can also work in that case. But let's say in case if you have it, you can use the catalog mapping feature to map your GTIN MPIN to the Adyogi GTIN and Adyogi MPIN feature, and we'll automatically pick up data from your feed and populate into the feed that we create and send to your merchant center.
Right. Thanks, Pranav, for taking that up. So just to give more context, GTIN is basically global trade item number, and MPIN is manufacturer part numbers, which are allotted by the manufacturer itself. So in case these two are not available, you can use other identifiers such as product SKU, brand name, etc. to send these values to your Google feed or Google Merchant Center and help Google crawl these products while a user is searching for a particular product on the Google search engine. So next question that we have on the forum is regarding product stop loss automation again, which says that do these products get excluded forever, or can we include them back into the catalog? So I guess Pranav, you can take this up too.
Got it. So once you have enabled the product stop loss, so as I think Muskan, can we go to the product automation section, the product stop loss section? Yeah. So let's just talk about the concept of product stop loss. So let's say once you put up an exclusion condition, now since the current architecture contains both exclusion and inclusion. Now, once you set up a product at an exclusion level, any product that falls below the exclusion criteria, so any product that falls within the exclusion criteria, will automatically get excluded from from all of your catalog link ads, be it Meta or Google, if you've set it at both the channels. Now, this exclusion is a permanent exclusion as long as you do not have an inclusion case. So let's say if you've excluded it using the product stop loss, it gets excluded from the automation, or let's say from your catalog structure. Now, in case if you want to make it more dynamic, where the inclusion and exclusion happens automatically, you can also set up an inclusion case. So let's say in case if you have set up a condition where any product which less than, let's say, 1,000 views, but and your blended ROAS of, let's say, less than 1x should get excluded from your catalog. That product will automatically exclude from your catalog, or and all of your catalog linked ads across Meta and Google. Now, let's say if the Google organic searches for that product start automatically increasing, your number of impressions and number of views on that product start automatically increasing. You can then set up an inclusion case which says that any product that, let's say, has at least 1,000 impressions, but blended ROAS, let's say, is more than, let's say, 1.5 or let's say 2x. So if a product that has been excluded, as and when the performance criteria it meets, gets automatically included back using the inclusion condition. So automatically, the product stop loss with the exclusion and inclusion condition keeps churning your catalog on the basis of efficiency, and your efficiency standards can be wholly set by you. And how do you identify that efficiency standards? You can directly go to your product analytics section and then choose certain benchmark and matrices to see that which products fall below, or let's say according to you, which is your efficiency benchmark for inclusion and exclusion. So you can use a host of your preset or your created presets, your strategy cohorts to identify that what is working out for you versus what is not working out for you. Identify those matrices, and then essentially use those matrices in the product stop loss feature for exclusion and inclusion. And I hope that answers the query.
Right. So I hope so too. And in case you guys have any doubts or any questions regarding the same, please feel free to put it in the chat box or in the Q&A section. So as a reminder, we would just like to give you another chance to avail of this free product performance audit. And all you have to do is scan this particular QR code and avail of the audit by filling in the details. And we are over here for another 2 minutes to answer any of the queries that you might have. So feel free to raise your hand or put in your query in the chat box, and we'd be happy to address them. And in the meantime, feel free to talk about your brand and how you are currently spending on Google. What is your Google performance? Is Performance Max working out for you? Have you optimized your titles up till now? If yes, how has that worked out for you? Anything that you would like to discuss in and around performance marketing, we'd be happy to address that. So, folks, we will not have a repetition of this session for another 1 month. So, I would suggest make the most use of this particular live session. We are giving you a chance to raise your hand and get your queries answered live on the panel itself. And we also have Pranab here, who is leading the product team at Adyogi. So he would be able to address your concerns regarding how to use the Adyogi platform and how you can optimize your Google Ads using product performance management. So yeah, till now we haven't received any other doubts, although we do have attendees till the end. So all right, let's stay for another 1 minute and then we'd be closing up the webinar. All right, we have one anonymous question which says, as I am new for Adyogi, I'm not familiar with Adyogi. Could you please elaborate about the services? And as per now, I learned this tool or software, which is a merger for all advertising channels. So, just to give you a better understanding of the Adyogi platform, it is basically it helps you make your performance marketing easier, and as like you said, it does integrate different ad platforms such as Meta and Google Ads, and also other channels such as your website backend, Google Analytics, etc., so that you can analyze your performance marketing efforts and all your metrics related to performance marketing on a single platform. In the last few months, what we've delved into is product performance management, which we talked about in the beginning of the webinar, is how to identify the products that are profitable for you, how to identify the products that are not profitable for you, and how to use this analysis and information to further optimize your campaigns on Meta and Google. In this webinar, we talked about specifically Google Ads, where we talked about how to identify your zombie products or your products that have zero traction or zero activity in terms of clicks, impressions, etc., and how to push these particular products in your performance max campaigns. So, again, you can use this particular information and optimize your campaigns further. Yes, it is paid for, and you can reach out to us on our website to know more about the services and book a demo call with us. That's great, Nana. If you wish to collaborate with us and get your D2C brand integrated with the Adyogi platform, do check out our website, www.adyogi.com, and you would be able to understand what are the other features that we offer. We have different plans, such as managed services plan, specifically for D2C brands that require account managers. We have different plans as per different ad spends of a particular brand. So again, do reach out to us on our website and book a demo call with us so you can gain a better understanding and a personalized demo call for you specifically for your brand needs. All right. This brings us to the end of the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in and staying till the end. I hope we were able to provide you some value addition as to how you can scale your Google Ads using PPM, the one concept that we've analyzed and seen proof of concept of in the last 3-4 months. So thank you so much for joining in. And again, in case you have any doubts, go check out the website and reach out to us over email or book a call with us. Thank you so much. See you next month. Bye bye.